Good. I was waiting for my cue. Good morning, friends. Very exciting. Today I feel as though my microphone was on and it is not anymore. Hello. Can you hear me in the back? Okay. No, they can't not hear me in the back. The light's on. Okay. So we're working on making a video for our new capital campaign where we will ask for donations. To do that, the video will be posted. I feel as though you can hear me now. Hello, friends. Welcome. Okay, so we're working on a video. We needed to get a drone shot inside the hall with people. So in moments, the drone will fly down the aisle and pause here, and I will say hello to it, and then the shot will be done and we can get to our actual service. But we needed the little people, because if you know, as you know, when you, this is the steeple, if you open the doors and if there are no people, it's no good. You did it wrong, your finger's on the wrong side. So, here, acting natural. I'm the priest, and I'm talking to the people, and everyone's calm. No one makes any sudden movements. And there we are, and here we go, and we're very calm. And then it's going to me. Hello, friend. Nice to see you. Hello. I stayed standing here as a calming influence for you all, so. Movie making is a complex and terribly tedious business, so thank you very much for bearing with us. Soon the other priests will return. Okay, I'll just do the welcome because we're here. Good morning and welcome to Reno Buddhist Center. Thank you. We are very happy to see you all and to have safely accomplished our morning task. A special welcome is always extended to visitors. We recognize it's a bit of an adventure. It's a little trepidatious coming for the first time, so you're welcome, and this is a very friendly place. And thanks to you at home for tuning in and sharing this time together. We begin with our Shoshinge chant and incense offering. That's the first part of the service. For those who are new to the temple, the Shoshinge is chanted from this book that exists in the seat back pocket in front of you or behind you in some circumstances. We open the book thusly and we chant in vertical columns like this. You can read along in English as well at some point. During the chanting of the Shoshinge, the Shoshingo, I should say, is a poem that compresses the experiences and insights of the founder of our Pure Land lineage, Shinran Shonin, and they're standing there. And do you want to do the three homages now, or can I continue? Okay, great. Shinran wanted us to know that life is more than a simple journey from cradle to grave. That we are part of a long, unbroken thread of life that extends far, far into the past, and we are responsible to extend that thread into the future. So, the incense offering, during the Shoshinge chanting, everyone is encouraged to come up to the Oshoko altar, the incense altar, and offer 2 pinches of incense This is an offering in gratitude. You're giving back to the wisdom and compassion of the universe that has cared for you all these years, in just a simple thank you. If you're new, the best thing to do is to think of your favorite teacher and thank them, and then give this gift like it's a gift to them. We have two other altars in the Hondo. There's an altar to the Bodhisattva Kannon on the south side. And that's the Bodhisattva of compassion, so people make an offering there if somebody needs a little extra compassion in their life. And then on the north side, the Medicine Buddha's altar is here for to remember and think of people who need healing energy, healing from physical illness. So here on the altar is Amida Buddha, offering boundless wisdom and compassion to us all. Please offer incense with an open heart and deep gratitude to all your teachers. Three homages. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Lama loves, Lama loves, Lama loves, Lama loves.
Shoshinge. Kimyo Junyorai. Namu Fukashigi Ko Hozobo Sai Niji Zai Seiji Zai Obusho Token Shobu Jodoin Kokudo Ninden Shizen Maku Konru Mujo Shushogan Choho Keu Daiguze Goko Shiyui Shishoju Juse Myosho Monji Po Muho Muryo Muhenko Muge Mutai Ko Enno Shoujo Kangi Chie Ko Fudan Nanshi Mushoko Chonichiga Ko Shojin-sei Isai Gunjo Mukosho Hongam Yogo Shoujogo Shishin Shingyo Ganni In Joto Gakusho Daine Han Hishi Mendo Ganjoju Yorai Shoi Koshu Sei Yui Sei Mida Hongon Kai Gojoku Wakuji Gunjo Kai Oshin Yorai Ryo Jitengon No Ho Ichinen Kiai Shin Fudan Bon no Tokune Han Bonsho Gyaku Hosai Eiryu Nyoshu Shinyu Kai Ichimi Seishu Shin Kojo Shogo 意の水波無明暗東内心臓死運無上不心事心人天頻尿に幸福運無運無しげ妙無暗逆心謙虚大狂気即を超税後悪手一切全幕本部人門心如来偶税願仏言古代諸芸者税に妙踏んだりけ弥陀部本元年部邪剣教魔なく修上信行十字人に南中死難昔インド最天子論芸中華自治一義こそ現代諸公正所意妙如来本税大き釈迦如来両合戦一種五妙難天軸大事出頭世実の財波有無権先世大乗無情法召喚議事小安楽賢治難行六六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀部本願人年即時入筆上唯の上昇如来語王法大悲偶税音天神菩薩増論世奇妙無下根如来平修たら謙信寺高専王朝大聖願こういう本願力栄光二道群上小維新記入功徳大崩壊筆脈入大永修修特使蓮華造世界即小信用法小心有本の人間人図入賞自音自王芸本自動乱両天使上皇乱小菩薩来三蔵ルシ十上教本書専業気楽法天神菩薩論主芸報道因果見世願王言栄光ゆたりき少女死因唯心人惑前本部新人法承知承知即内藩必死無料公明道小雨修上開復系同社継承道南省唯名浄土活入万全自力変言集円満特語感染症三不三心慶音言増魔法明道非因一生増悪地偶税思案妖怪小妙化全道六妙部小意公愛上三陽逆惑公明明語見因縁介入本願大智慧行者小樹今後心狂気一年総合用意大東逆三人即所法所市上楽原神公開一大教変気安養可に祭先祖出身反戦人法家二道小弁流極重悪人唯勝部火薬剤非正集中門の証言水不見大非無見上昇が本次元空妙仏教連民全幕本部人新宗教書後編集 戦弱本願具悪性現来生じ臨伝芸慶地義上位少子即入着上無意楽非知心事にの有苦境大自主死と上妻無変極直悪同族自主愚道心唯過心しこそせナムアミダブナムアミダブナムアミダブナムアミダブナムアミダブナムミダジョブのこの方は今に自己をへたまえり欲しいの売りえぬ気はもなくせのもみょうを照らすなりえこ何にしくどく平等聖祭道本母大神お嬢はナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ
It is time now to invite the children to go to Dharma School with Reverend Shelley and Aaron. we will sing them out. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you.
Good morning. The Hataka Sutra on sleeping well in the cold forest. Thus I have heard. On one occasion, the Buddha was staying near Alavi, alone in a forest. He slept the night on a pile of simsapa leaves by a cattle path. In the morning, Hataka of Alavi was out roaming and rambling for exercise. He saw the Buddha sitting on his bed of leaves, wrapped in his robes in the light of dawn. He went to the Buddha and, having bowed, sat to one side. After sitting there for some time, Hataka said to the Buddha, "Teacher, I hope you slept last night in ease and comfort." "Yes, young man, I always sleep in ease." "But the winter night is cold, teacher. Between the 8th of February and March is a time of snowfall. This ground is hard, packed by cattle hooves. You have just a thin spread of leaves. Even the leaves in the tree are sparse. Your saffron robes are not warm, and the veranda wind blows cold from the north. With all this, why do you say, 'Yes, young man, I always sleep in ease'?" "Well," the Buddha replied, "let me ask you a question in return. Answer as you see fit. Suppose a householder has a house with a gabled roof, plastered inside and out, draft-free, with close-fitting doors and windows, tight against the wind. Inside, he has a horsehair couch spread with quilts of fleece and white wool, and a rug of Kadali deer hide with a canopy above and red cushions on either side. And there is a lamp burning, and his 4 wives, with their many charms, attending to him. Would he sleep in ease or not? What do you think?" "Yes, teacher, of those in the world who sleep in ease, he would be one." But consider this, young man. Might there arise in that householder a disturbance of mind, born of regret and trepidation for striking or harming another? Burning with the fire of regret, would he sleep miserably? Yes, teacher, that may be so. Such regret-born mind fevers do not afflict a Buddha who has abandoned using physical force against another, who has embraced ahimsa. With the root of harm destroyed, a Buddha sleeps in ease. Now, what do you think, young man? Might there arise in that householder a disturbance of mind born of verbally harming another, so that burned with a fire for regret for verbally harming, would he sleep miserably? Yes, teacher, that is likely. Understand disturbances like this, caused by verbally harming another, are absent in a Buddha. They are deprived of the conditions for existence. He does not harm others with words. Therefore, a Buddha sleeps in ease. Now, what do you think, young man? Our householder might be troubled with the remorse borne by one who has harmed others by ill thoughts. Troubled by these disturbances of mind, would he sleep miserably? Yes, teacher, he would. That remorse is foreign to a Buddha who has only thoughts of loving kindness and is incapable of harming another with his thoughts. Having abandoned ill will of all kinds, embracing ahimsa, the Tathagata has rooted out harmful thoughts. For this reason, he sleeps in ease. Always, he sleeps in ease. The spiritual person, totally unbound, who does not cling to pleasures of the senses, without wanting, passions cooled, residing in ahimsa and sustaining a warm heart, he sleeps in ease, having reached the peace of clear awareness. Even on a cold night. Magnificent, teacher, magnificent. Just as if you were to place upright what was overturned, to reveal what was hidden, or to light a lamp into the dark. In the same way has the Buddha, through many lines of reasoning, made the Dharma clear. I go to the Buddha for refuge, to the Dharma, and to the Sangha. May the Buddha remember me as a student who has gone to him for refuge from this day forward. We will now have a few minutes of meditation accompanied by music.
Welcome, friends. We gather again to share the Dharma. I see visitors as well as longtime members of the temple here. Everyone is welcome in this place. You might have noticed the little robot was welcomed earlier today. Everyone, whether intelligence, artificial or natural, is welcome. Hopefully you will, like Hatha in the sutra. Hataka? No, I've forgotten his name. Okay, the main character, the young man in the sutra, he found a wonderful insight from the Buddha's interaction that cold morning in the Simsapa leaves. So hopefully that will happen for you too. This is our Sangha community, and you can take refuge here. Today, I would like to talk about an important value or virtue in Buddhism called ahimsa. Ahimsa is a Sanskrit word that generally means non-harming or non-violence. It is a principle that you find in many Indian religions. Probably you could extrapolate it to all religions of humans. A core ethical principle that guides our way through this path of life. Taking a step back, I should probably tell you the word ahimsa is what we will talk about today, but himsa means striking or hitting in Sanskrit. And used when you're talking about ethical principles or religious, spiritual values, then that translates to violence or harm, but literally it means hitting. Actions that cause harm or suffering to others. So, in contrast to ahimsa, which means non-violence or non-harming. It's a principle of peacefulness, highly valued in all spiritual traditions. Ahimsa in Buddhism is the idea of refraining from harming sentient beings, whether physical harm caused by, or the harm caused by speech or thought, as we heard in the sutra. We include not only humans, but also animals and any other beings that feel. All the sentient beings should not be harmed. The Buddha clearly showed us that all beings are interconnected and intersupporting. Harming any one creates negative karma and inherently leads to suffering, both for ourself and for the other. Practicing ahimsa means cultivating compassion and kindness toward everyone. But it is more than that. It means actively working to prevent harm and alleviate suffering whenever it occurs. This principle is starkly reflected in the first of the 5 precepts, which says, Panatipata veramani sikapadang sabadhyami, which is to say, I undertake the precept to not take life. Yeah. But there are various levels. That is the highest level of harm is to take a life, but there are graded levels below that are still harmful. Ahimsa matters because karma matters. If our actions have consequences, then we should pay closer attention to those actions. More so, we should observe what actions have bad consequences and don't do them. We observe what actions have good consequences and we do them. If we cause harm to another being, that creates negative karma that will eventually lead to suffering for us. On the other hand, if we cultivate compassion and kindness towards all beings, this generates positive karma that leads to happiness and liberation from suffering. As I said, ahimsa practice is more than not harming, but also the habit of actively working to prevent harm and lessen suffering. To this end, some people take it further to not eating meat or eating only plants or teaching nonviolence and promoting peaceful coexistence among beings on our planet. One of the most well-known examples of ahimsa in Buddhism is a story of the Buddha and the angry, intoxicated elephant, Nalagiri. In this story, the raging bull elephant was rampaging through Rajgir, which is sort of the capital of Magadha, the country where the Buddha studied. It was causing all kinds of destruction, because you can imagine a bull elephant who's been fed fermented grains would get a little crazy. Big tusker, imagine Nalagiri. Harm to people and every animals in its path. The Buddha approached the elephant with this gesture. Amida Buddha has the same gesture. It's a gesture of no fear. That's what that means. If a Buddha is standing like this, it means don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid. Through that power of compassion and kindness, he was able to calm the animal and prevent further harm. So, this story illustrates the powerful practice of ahimsa. We all face raging bull elephants from time to time. Figuratively, I mean. Whether a coworker, they can be quite energetic sometimes, right? Or even inside our own mind, these out-of-control elephants can exist. The Buddha is there too, to calm things down and cool those fires. His ahimsa can bring peace and harmony to even the most chaotic and violent situations. It is important to cultivate compassion and kindness towards all living beings, regardless of their actions or behavior, without judging. You can see ahimsa is an essential part of Buddhist practice, deeply rooted in the teaching and the philosophy. Usually, I would say, at this point in my talk, I can see the people, and some of you are having a certain thought. I will describe the thought. He's up there talking about these things, and they're not about me, because I'm good and I never harm anyone, so when is snack time? I know somebody thought that already. These are the exact people the Buddha was trying to reach with his message. Now, also the possibility exists that you're a bodhisattva and you no longer harm, and that is wonderful. In that case, please wait until tea time quietly. But if you're with the rest of us, we're thinking, he's talking about harming, but other than that one time, I never even hit anybody. So, who me? Is that Alfred E. Newman or something? Is that right? Alfred E. Newman? The Mad Magazine guy, I can't remember his name. That really is most of us. We deny or rationalize the harm that we do. So, let's check in a bit, go through the list of harm, and then we can kind of think back through your week and see, well, maybe some of those things have occurred. The sutra started the list with physical harm, the obvious form that affects others, of hitting, kicking, injuring, other physical acts. We seldom intentionally do those things. We seldom get to that point. I say intentionally because most of us have experienced a strange kind of enragement hijacking where we didn't mean to do it, but someone got hurt. Maybe in our youth, maybe not in our youth. These things do occur. There's verbal harm. The words we use can harm others. This includes things like yelling, insulting, spreading rumors about other people. A verbal attack can cause lasting damage. And then there's mental harm. Our thoughts, too, can cause harm, even if we don't express them out loud. Negative thoughts, such as anger, jealousy, hatred, create an unkind atmosphere for us and the others around us. It conditions us to think that they deserve harm. So that's a problem. Even something simple as seemingly non-active as neglect. If others need our care, and we withhold that care from them, we don't fulfill our responsibilities, then we are causing harm. All of these forms of harm create negative karma and clearly lead to the suffering of others and ourselves. We normally follow the rules, but when we cross this line, then it harms us. And maybe we could say it's a kind of moral injury to us when we harm another. If we think himsa, striking, is acceptable, it will amplify the harm that we do. And that is what negative karma is, a habit in our karmic consciousness of doing harmful action, a habit of mind. Even on a subtle level, we harm each other. Gossiping, speaking ill, not listening is a kind of, it creates harm. Being judgmental, even ignoring our own mental health can unintentionally harm those around us. Our negative emotions and behaviors affect our relationships with others, create toxic environment. As Brad Werner, a Zen priest, put it, one great way to practice ahimsa is to not be a jerk. That is the title of his book. Don't be a jerk. So, the Zen people can get away with things we can't generally get away with. So, to do more good while harming less, the Buddha recommends first becoming aware of our actions of body, speech, and mind. Ask yourself, what am I doing that is harmful? This is the first step toward reducing the harm we cause to others. Then follow up with exploring ways to cultivate compassion and kindness towards all living beings. Actively engaging in positive actions, generating positive karma will lead us on the spiritual path toward happiness and freedom. To skillfully avoid harmful actions, we apply the practice of mindfulness and cultivate positive attitudes towards ourselves and others. Being mindful of our thoughts and actions, we can become more aware of how we affect those around us. Control flows from awareness is an old teaching phrase I think some coach taught me. We can cultivate compassion, empathy, which help us see others as just like us, struggling in the world. This positive light will reduce the likelihood of causing harm. Buddhism emphasizes the practice of nonviolent communication, part of right speech. We speak in a way that is true, beneficial, well-received, and well-timed. Compassionate and non-judgmental words are welcomed. This requires active listening, mindfulness of the other person, as well as awareness of our own internal mental state. In Pure Land Buddhism, we embrace the value of non-harming as one of the core ethical principles that guide followers of the Buddha. We practice ahimsa in recognition that all living beings are interconnected and that harming one generates damage to the whole. Shinran Shonin, our Shin Buddhist founder, emphasized that compassion is the essence of the Buddha's teaching, expressed through everyone's practice of non-harming, an essential quality of the Buddha expressed through our actions. One of the keys to Shinran's teaching is the idea or concept of tariki, other power. So if the self is just a misunderstanding and we are really a little part of a vast compassionate oneness, then the guiding flow within that vastness is not your power, jiriki, but it is other power, tariki. Enlightenment is not achieved through our own efforts, but is instead received by us as a gift from the compassion and vastness of the universe, Amida Buddha. This gift is freely given to all beings, regardless of their actions, and is based on the primal vow, the Hongan of Amida Buddha. From our view, practicing ahimsa is not my way for me to achieve enlightenment, but rather it is an expression of the compassion of the universe, received from Amida, the Buddha of infinite life and infinite light. As Shinran said, the heart of compassion is the heart of the Buddha. This is the essence of Buddha's teaching. In conclusion, we find in the Dhammapada a gatha that says, all beings tremble before violence, all fear death, all love life. See yourself in others. Then, who will you hurt? What harm would you do? It is very important to see ourselves in others. The Buddha taught that when we deeply realize the interconnection of all beings, that we are fundamentally the same, harming another becomes impossible. Ahimsa is a vital principle in Buddhism, based on an understanding of our interconnectedness. We can always do more good with less harm. Please share Amida Buddha's great wish for all beings with me. Make gasho. May you be happy. May you be free from harm. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your heart. At this point in the service, we usually sing our Reno Buddhist Center theme song together. It's on page 49 of the service book. I would ask you to stand, and Masako will play the piano for us, and we can share. Thank you. At this point, I usually read the announcements. I see that I do have spare batteries for my microphone, which I didn't put in, so that's why it was cutting out. Thank you very much. We have many announcements. They're on the bottom part of the order of service. The most important one is that the service is over and there are tea and treats downstairs. So let's go through those doors and circle around to Haroma Hall below. We will have a newcomers circle there, so if you're new and you have questions, you're interested, please come to that. George Killeran is raising his hands there. That gentleman will be at the table, so if you find him, you have found the newcomers circle. So, otherwise, thank you very much for sharing this time with us.